What is going on, YouTube world? IRP 158. Uh, Annual now after it's what 3 years, 4.
What
Your fourth year of what are you thankful for?
is this the fourth year?
2020, 2021, 2022, and this is 2023.
No shit. Of course, then again, I guess the first thankful episode would have been on your channel since we moved
Yeah.
the following year. Damn, that's hard. That's hard to believe. Feels just like yesterday. Feels just like yesterday.
Don't ever take naps with the expectation of A, honoring your alarm, and B, waking up in a fashion or on a time, I'd say much earlier than you're used to taking said nap. It was about an hour and 15, well, an hour and a half after the alarm went off.
Well, next time, make sure you set the alarm to go off earlier.
That wouldn't make any difference. I just needed more sleep. It's been a.
I get it. When you're tired, man. And like, I went to bed, and I know, yes, it's not as early as you, Dave. And I always preface this because, like, I don't know how you fucking do it, anyways. Like, I just you're kind of used to it, but at the same time, I still don't know how you do it. I think I shut it down 11:30ish, meaning like turned off the light, the TV, that type of stuff. And what's going on, Bobby? So who knows when I actually fell asleep? Like, you don't ever really know when you fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I woke up at like 10 after 6 this morning. And like, I set my alarm for 7:45 because like I work from home. I start work at 8 o'clock or thereabouts. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And there's a lot of times I sleep to that alarm clock. But for the last 2 days, I have woken up at least an hour before my alarm goes off. And I'm going, what the fuck? Like, I know I need more sleep. Why, body? Why are you making me get up? You're forced to get up because that's when you have to go to work. I'm not. But it happens on the weekends. Like, I can't tell you the last time I've seen past 8 o'clock when getting up, even on a weekend, no matter what time I go to bed. Like, I was up until almost, I think, 2 o'clock when we did our offline chat, whatever it was, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whenever that was. I finally passed out, I think, about 2 o'clock. What time was I up? Like 7:30. I'm going, there is a problem with this.
Well, even same at the National when we're fucking up till Vinny and I were up till
1, 2,
in the morning. Yep. I'm still up at 6:30. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a treasure of a day. 2.5 hours. Let's go. Yeah, that body clock is a pile of shit. I hate that because I mean there'll be times.
I need it to be reset somehow. I need to go back in my teenage years to where if I go to bed at 2, I can sleep till 10.
Till like 2.
Look, I'll at least say till 10 o'clock because it's 8 hours, you know?
Yeah.
But on the flip side, sleeping till 2, I feel like half the day's gone in that situation. That's why I said 10 o'clock. That's why I said 10 o'clock.
I mean, you'd like to wake up at 10, but a lot of the time it was pushing noon, and you're like, oh, what time is it? And then you look and you're like, Well then.
I mean, the last time I think I slept till, damn, it probably was close to noon, was the 7 hour stream with Carlos.
Okay.
But I mean, we shut it down. It was so 7 hour stream plus we had after hours for, I don't even remember how long it was. I laid down, I think at like 5:45 in the morning. But even then, sleep until noon, like that, there's a problem with that too. Oh no, Bobby, it has nothing fucking to do with daylight savings time either. Like this is a year round thing. And they say though, as you get older, you're like, for you, Dave, your body is conditioned because you've had to get up so early for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, they always say, as you get older, your body clock gets set at a whatever time it is, and you just fucking get up. I need to know how to push the reset button. Like any advice, any suggestions, anybody to push the reset button?
Good luck.
You're just as bad though too, Vinny. Like, I mean, you go 1, 2, and sometimes up at the butt ass crack of dawn. But you also, part of that is you have a younger kid at home. It's when your kids get older, things are supposed to be a little bit more simplified. But no. And then there's my wife. She goes to bed whenever. She wakes up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, stays up for a couple hours, and then goes back to sleep. And then I have to wake her ass up to get up for work. Like, go figure.
That's the worst. There's been times when you're just so fucking dead, and I try not to go to bed. Like if I were to went to bed when I went to take the nap at 6 o'clock, I could sleep till probably 10 or 11. But I'm up for now the rest of the night. This isn't like, oh, we'll go to bed earlier and then you'll sleep to that time. No. There's times when I've done that and I've been up at like 1 and I'm like, oh, well then, not, I'm tired, but I'm not, like sleepy tired. Like right now, I mean, you can eventually get back into it, but no, it isn't as easy as just go to bed earlier. Because there's been times too when you go to bed at like 9:30 or 10, and I'll be dead to the world, and it won't be more than like a minute or two before I'm out, and I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to be late for work because I never sleep that well. Look at the clock, 11:43.
He's like, what in the hell just happened?
An hour and a half, and then change.
Well, because it's still dark outside too, so even daylight savings is irrelevant in this situation because of when you get up. It's you go to bed when it's dark, and you wake up when it's dark. So
Yeah.
your mind plays tricks on you to a degree when you're sitting there thinking, okay, yeah, I slept really good, man. Oh shit, I'm going to be late for work. And like you said, you look at the clock and it's been an hour and a half. And you're going, okay, wait a minute. What the fuck just happened?
No, it's brutal. Or you'll go to bed at like your time, 11:30. I'm like, okay, guaranteed I gotta at least sleep till 3, so makes some sense. Nope, you're up at like 1, and I'm like, come on, I just want 4 hours. I want 4 hard hours of sleep, and I'm good, and I can matriculate.
Start drinking. Okay, maybe don't start drinking.
Yeah. And you don't want to take like
ZzzQuil or melatonin,
yeah, all that shit,
something
that's
like that.
you're groggy till the next afternoon. That's how I am. And even if the next whole day you're just sitting there and you're sort of in a fog or a stupor, and you're like, that, yeah, I get
Well,
some good sleep, but great, I can't fucking. I'm going about 55-65% because I'm trudging through this now.
well, with like melatonin, you would have to find the right one for
Mm,
you, because there's 15 million and two different variations, versions, time release, this, that, whatever, and depend it like it could take you months to figure out potentially what would be the best fit for you that would actually allow you decent sleep where you wake up refreshed and you're not, like you said, at 50 or 60% because you're groggy all damn day.
which that's what all those NyQuil, ZQuil, whatever the hell it is, all that stuff. It just I don't even bother taking that. I mean, if even if I'm sick, I'd rather take the Dayquil and then hopefully I fall asleep on my own instead of that, and then you try to
Right.
wake up and you're a zombie, and
Right.
that's not a fun feeling.
Well, and Bobby, like when I was a kid, so growing up, we lived with my grandparents, and I'm sure I've told the story as far as my upbringing, my history, all this other kind of stuff. But, anyways, all the way up till I was 13, we lived at my grandparents' house. And my grandparents were, of course, early risers because that's what old people do. And that's not a jab. Hey, Jeff. But my grandmother was, a housewife for the bulk of their marriage. But my grandfather was a woodworker, and he built model ships and all sorts of other stuff. So he spent a lot of time in the shop in the morning. Well, as I got older and I could start helping with whatever, or sometimes we'd freaking read a book, whatever it was. I also was that early riser as a young kid. But of course, I think as we get into our teenage years, we all get to that situation where we're sleeping till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon because, like, that's what we need, more sleep for whatever reason. Uh, but it's I don't want to say like history repeats itself, because that's definitely not what I'm getting at, because living there during the summer or on the weekends and stuff, I mean, I was up at between like 5:30 and 6 o'clock with no alarm clock. Like that ain't fucking happening even now. I still have to have my alarm clock set. I may wake up on occasion that early, but not consistently. It may be a day here, a day there. But like I said, I need the fucking reset button, because this, no matter what time going to bed nowadays, and not even sleep until 8 o'clock, is for the fucking birds. And it's got to suck more for you too, Dave, because on your day off, you would love to be able to sleep in, but because your body is so conditioned, it's like you're screwed. Like it doesn't matter what you do, you're screwed.
No, so that's yeah. If I don't go to Gilbert and see Trista, I usually just I'm up to go work. I don't know how many Sundays I've worked in the last couple of months, but it's just like if I'm up, might as well fucking go in. At least get a couple
Right.
hours out of it. Yeah,
Yeah. So Bobby, test that out and let us know how that works.
yeah.
Now, could that work out also be considered like the horizontal mambo? I mean, are we talking that kind of workout, or are we actually talking about a workout? For clarification's sake, I figured I'd ask the question. Because we don't want to leave things open for interpretation here.
Heavens no.
Because we don't like to do that. See, so it doesn't matter. Some sort of workout. So there you go. Like I said, let us know how that works, Bobby.
No, yeah, as like a kid, yeah, you could. But there again, not to go on the hills, and when I was a kid, it was this way.
Yeah, we're not that
But
old.
in the sense, we just, you were outside. You weren't sitting looking at a phone or a watch or anything to tell you the time. You hear older people getting to be old, saying all the time, we were up when the sun was out. I mean, not like as the sun was rising. Like Saturdays you were, because you were always watching cartoons, whatever the cartoons, because that started at 6. I mean, you had some stuff at 5, but that was usually the low end, the bottom rung, as it were. But then you sort of get fidgety about 9:30. You're like, okay, had my breakfast, watching some cartoons. I mean, we've passed the Ninja Turtles, the Garfield, whatever the case may be, and now you're getting into the stuff that you're like, well, I don't really mind watching it, but it usually was something like sort of not a PBS type informative thing, but you're starting to get away from the stuff you really like. And by that's like 10 o'clock. By that time, it's like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to go outside. And then you're going outside. Well, be back in a few hours or whatever. Get some lunch.
We should have done the over under.
But it was the same thing with the new viewpoint in the room.
Well, I ended up having to say something for that because nobody bothered to say anything.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm like our receptive audience, and like, what's going on here? Nope. So, but again, it's a more direct, I think, change. Instead of you're like, if you're really looking at it and you're like, oh, what the hell's going on? Is that a different room? But I still see stuff up in the background, and there's still a door there. But
yeah, but
one
what's
of those,
different?
No, the 5 differences. Circle the 5 differences in the daily paper, the Sunday paper.
I am waiting for my Needham hat, but that's not the reason why no hat. I actually had it on in the pre-show, and I finally got my hair cut. So for those people who care, I had a funeral to attend to today. My ex father-in-law sadly passed away 2 weeks ago, and very very instrumental in my early years, my early 20s, and even into my early 30s, uh, in my financial planning and stuff along those lines. And so I only thought it was right to pay my respects to him and be there, even as strange as it may seem, for my ex wife and her brother and his family. So I, of course, had to go get my hair cut. And that's the only reason why you see me without a hat on, is because my hair's not fucking, going 15 million different directions and looking like Dave did there for a while. because it was getting pretty long, which nobody would know because I have curls anyways. So the only time you really know when it's long is, yes, you'll see the curls back here, but drape down my hair in front of my face type situation, and then you would know. But anyways, that's the reason. But we were gonna see how long it took somebody to notice and say something and be direct about, okay, wait a minute, where's the hat? So
So about 18 minutes in.
not too bad, not too bad. Kudos to you, Joe. Kudos to you.
No, but to Stuke's comment to button up that dull. We didn't have bells or whistles or any of that. It was sort of like, okay, it was a vicinity. It's like, okay, you're hungry, you're hungry, you're hungry. You've been playing for a while. It's like, I just want to go home. I'm hungry. Something, I gotta get something to eat. Something. So there's very very rarely that you'd sit there and just be gone all day. I mean, at some point you check back in either to your house or a friend's
Yeah,
house if you're
yeah,
out
I
there
had to
playing
check in.
somewhere. So, but yeah, in Superior, God, it was so fifth, sixth, seventh grade. Mom, dad worked. Mom, it depended on. She worked at like a group home, and so it depended on like shift. It usually was the same shift through the week, so I don't think it was like a 3 to 11. But it was like so many times I remember like nobody being home, just looking for something to eat. I mean, again, not saying we're dirt poor, but again, we didn't have. Nowadays, you can go in the cupboard, you can go in the fridge, and pretty much be like, okay, I can make something that's gonna be tasty. Might not be great for you, but it's gonna be something good.
Oh,
Then
we
it was,
we we had no shortage of ramen growing up.
and even then, we didn't. We had it, but it wasn't like I've got now. It's not like the hamburger helper.
Who's this fucking guy?
Yeah, what a nice little surprise, Eric.
Good to see you, Eric. Good to see you. Long time no
So
see.
yes, don't be a stranger, Eric.
He
But
he's big time now. He doesn't have time
I
for
know
us.
we're we're just
That's all
we're,
right.
we're the peanut.
Just remember, everybody. Make sure you thumbs up the video so Eric pays.
Yeah, Eric has to pay. So
Vienna sausage.
it
So hold
didn't
on.
didn't have that. Had spam.
See, we still eat spam. I love fucking fried
Oh,
spam. There is nothing better. Uh, so two things. Uh, spam being part of it, but that's why I'm going to the Vienna sausage, or back to the Vienna sausage. So Orlando, since you bring it up, I have to ask: can you still eat it to this day, or does it like just make you want to go into a corner and like cry? Because like I loved it. I loved it as a kid. I loved it. I tried to eat it as an adult, and I'm like, how in the actual fuck did I like this? This is like gross, like horrible. Like, what was I thinking? Okay, well, I'll give you props. I'll give you props because, like, the smell makes me gag. I mean, that's because, like Dave, we I grew up in a in a modest home. Granted, it was my mom, my sister, and I, and my grandparents. My grandparents, my grandmother had been retired for a long time. My grandfather retired, I think, 4 or 5 years. No. How long was I there before he retired? Maybe I was 7 or 8 when he retired. But like my mom had the same job. My grandparents helped with certain expenses. My grandparents are the only reason why I got to play soccer growing up. They paid for it. Like my mom couldn't afford it. But Vienna sausages were another thing in the house. And growing up as a kid, I loved it. Ramen. Ate it for breakfasts a lot of the times in the morning before going to school as a afternoon snack. That's the only thing from my childhood that I can still eat to this day. Like pork and beans, I can't eat pork and beans. And that almost pains me to say because I love pork and beans too. And this will probably gross a lot of people out. I used to love smoked oysters in a can, but it had to be in oil. Like there was specifications that it had to have.
Instead of in water or whatever.
Correct. And we ate that more from like a snacky perspective, but saltine crackers and smoked oysters. Like it was a rare occasion, but they were still fairly cheap to where you weren't like breaking the bank. I can't eat that anymore. Outside of that, and I'm going back to this finally. Who here likes corned beef and cabbage?
I take out the latter, and they just boiled up or made some corned beef.
Okay, so no cabbage for you, but in general. So I'll rephrase. Who in here likes corned beef?
It's a terrible, terrible toll to pay.
Oh, it's not pleasant afterwards. But
It's so good.
who remembers though? That shit was cheap.
Oh fuck.
Cheap when we were all growing up. Cheap. My wife knows that I love corned beef and cabbage. She knows I love it. Nobody else in the house eats it. So, like when she makes it, it's pretty much all for me. And she also puts potatoes and carrots in it.
Yep. Red potatoes and like the
Yep.
baby carrots.
And the baby carrots. So, like when she makes it, it's pretty much all for me. But fucking corned beef is like almost $30.
It's fucking dumb.
That shit used to be cheap. That was like a cheap man's dinner.
Yep.
So, like, nothing's changed. It's still made the same to this very day. It's still made the same. It's still created the same way as it was 20 plus years ago. And don't tell me it's inflation either, because it's been expensive for at least the last decade that I can remember.
Yep.
But it's like, huh? Why in the F has it gone from a cheap man's meal to like being more than a steak sometimes? Like
it's so much, and I have no idea, because that would be one, especially again, out of season per se.
I call bullshit.
And I go,
Out of
I
season, bullshit.
know. that's about the only reason I like St. Patrick's Day, because that's when like the tips or the points are on sale, and I'm like, oh god, let's let's go, because then you actually get it at like a decent price. But that stuff is so good. So we had it. What I think they had some sauerkraut, I think, and I'm like, I'm good. But
See, and
Swiss,
I used to
Swiss
do
cheese,
sauerkraut too.
Swiss cheese and rye, and I'm like, okay, that's marble rye and that. I'm like, I had the butt end of the sandwich, which that's something as a kid when there wasn't anything in the house to eat, which that happened a bit. It was like, okay, there's bread, there's some butter, like some spreadable butter substance,
Butter substance.
and then
You didn't know if it was real butter or not at the
well,
time.
it was like the country crock or all that bullshit type, but it wasn't country crock though. It was whatever great value choice, extreme taste, or whatever the fuck you'd call it. I mean,
So
there
it
was
wasn't the name brand. It wasn't Parquet or Country
no,
Crock.
no,
I
God,
got
no.
you. Okay.
Anything that you see on a commercial, that good luck. Um, you were just hoping you didn't get the white box of chips. There used to be like a 6-pack of the chips that just had potato chips on it, and that was it. Which we got quite a bit, but
Hey, those
and
weren't the non-name brand chips sometimes weren't that bad.
no, this wasn't even a name. There was no name on it. It just said potato chips, or it was Ripple potato chips in a white
So
box.
it probably was Lay's or Ruffles. They just didn't decide to put their brand on it because it increased the price.
It was probably whatever the because there's a lot of those like the russet type ones or the little burnt or whatever it looked,
Yeah.
which I love. I mean, I will now buy. I got a bag over there from Appleton of the whatever the russet kind, the dark ones. I love those now
Okay.
because of that. But it'd be the bread, the butter substance, and then garlic salt. I just,
I
it's
I did that too.
something that tastes like something that, well, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it tastes good.
So the question is though, Dave, what brand garlic salt though?
Again, I think it was whatever. Up here we had Prangiway, or in Superior we had Prangiway, and we had. I'm trying to think where else we shopped.
I was just curious because like there are differences in garlic salt.
Because I mean, it wasn't like I don't think we were even getting McCormick.
Well, hi, see.
Hello,
Hi,
C.
see. See, we do Lowry's in my house. That's what we grew up on.
Okay.
Was Lowry's garlic salt, and it's got like chive pieces in it too.
Oh yeah, there
Not
was
that
no.
that really, not that it changes the flavor,
No, yeah.
but it's one of the like my wife inadvertently bought like a different brand or an off brand or something, and she was cooking with it, and like I didn't say anything. Like I didn't say anything. She goes, "Did something seem off?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, I make this the same way all the time. Something just seemed off. Something tasted different." And I'm like, "Okay." And she goes, "I think it's the garlic salt." And I'm going, "Did you not buy Lowry's?" She goes, "No. I figured I'd try something different because it's cheaper." I'm like, "Now you know. Don't ever buy anything other than Lowry's garlic salt because there is a big fucking difference depending on tastes and things along. Like, I'm not saying that, okay, everybody, you better be using that. That's not what I'm getting at. but everybody usually sticks with a certain name brand when it comes to spices, and that's one that there is never any other type of garlic salt in my house other than Lowry's. And that is something that I am fucking thankful for. Because all the other stuff, at least garlic salt related, tastes like shit. And it actually almost ruins the flavor of stuff, if that's even possible. Because like Dave, I like to eat. My frame may not show it, but I do like to eat. But it's got to be good, which means it's got to have flavor. And if the spices that you use actually hurt the flavor, then there's a problem.
And that's how I am with soy sauce. I cannot have Kikkoman because it tastes more like alcohol, and LaChoy doesn't.
Yeah, Kikkoman, it's also a lot saltier, if I'm not mistaken.
They're both pretty salty, but I mean it's literally just liquid salt. But that I can immediately tell when it's the Kikkoman or somebody's like, "Oh, try this," and it's like, "Ooh, I can smell that." Or I've said it many times too with like my hot sauce. I can't do Frank's. I can't do Tabasco. It's got to be the Chula. It's got to be that
Yep.
because it doesn't. It's not as vinegary. So, but yeah,
I
that
feel you.
and then the other meat type substance from the youth, two different um two different ways to say it, or just depending on where in the world you are. Most people say liverwurst. Up here, it's Braunschweiger. It's the same thing. But that was our, you said saltines, and that was what we put on saltines. My dad would have like sliced onions, and then there'd be like cheddar cheese because the sharpness of the cheddar offset the mildness of the meat. So that would be a snack, and then you'd have grapes or something on the side. I mean, yeah, it was if you had the full cupboard back then, you were living the good life. So, I mean, we'd have food in there, but again, it's not like now you sit there and you're looking in the fridge and like, what to eat. It was like,
Yeah, you were limited with your options because of situations.
like I'm gonna go outside instead and play because I don't want to look at this fucking fridge anymore.
Yeah.
And hearing like we have to go shopping like tomorrow. It's like it's morning, and if we're doing it tomorrow, I'm not really
What's for,
seeing much
yeah,
for
what's
today. So,
yeah, what's for lunch? What's for dinner?
yeah, yeah. I'm like, lunch and dinner, you say, eh? Well, I've got I think $3. I'll probably go to Prangy Way or Walmart and get like two of the value choice or great value bags of chips, and there's gonna be my supper.
Right?
I mean, there was always something. I'm not saying that it's like, well, no supper today. There's like always some sort of um, hamburger help or tuna help or something like that. I mean, it was always something. But when you're looking at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, and you're hungry for lunch, and there's nothing for lunch, and you know that shopping day is like tomorrow, it's like, hmm.
Yeah, it's so I didn't have it near as bad as that.
Well, I mean, I'm
I
not saying
mean,
we were fucking like you're.
I know, like I know what you're getting at, but when you put it in certain context, but like a lot of the snacky stuff outside of the Vienna sausage or the ramen or the smoked oysters, stuff like that. Like all the other snacky stuff was meant for lunches. So like if you started dipping into some of that shit, you were dipping into the stuff that you would potentially have for lunch. So, like, and that's because, let's face it, I mean, shit had to last for X amount of time because, you know, yes, my grandfather was working. He still got a regular paycheck. My grandmother was on Social Security. Bills still had to be paid. My mom worked. She still helped with groceries. Like grocery shopping was on a certain day. So when you went to the store, it was all in preparation for meals for the coming days, however long the gap was in between like pay periods and stuff, and the shit that was purchased for lunches. So, like, there wasn't an extra trip to the store. Like with my kids, we would do the same thing, but it was one of those in which if somehow shit started depleting, like there would be an impromptu run to the store
Yep.
to compensate. Like that wasn't a thing. You ate it, you're shit out of luck.
Yep. Yeah, you had a box of Gushers, or you had the fruit roll-ups, or you want to eat them now? You want to eat that shit now? Fuck it. Have at her.
Yep.
Don't come piss moaning when you reach in that box and there ain't shit in there except your hand. So
exactly.
But yeah, now it's like, okay, they're out. It's a for 10 or whatever. Yeah, I'll buy 4 of them. And now it's just different and that's. You could sort of dovetail this off the being thankful theme. It's the ability now, because I'm always thinking I'm overdoing it, obviously, because it's I work at a store, so you're always around it. But B, because of our modest and meager upbringings, food-wise, you always want to have something on hand. I like to have the mini store in my kitchen or in the basement on the shelving units, because I remember how many fucking times you'd sit there and be like, man, I wish I just had a couple cans of soup.
Yep.
Give me a thing of pasta and a fucking jar of sauce. Some mashed potatoes, like the instant potatoes, and gravy. I mean, just something where you're like, fill me up for the rest of the day until supper.
Yep.
And you're sitting there and you're like, well, there's a half box of Kicks, or there's, like they said, the saltines. There's always saltines in our house. Always the white box of chips with the 6 little bags in it. And once in a while, it's like a French onion dip or some kind of goofball, like the small little circular tub of dip. Not like the Fun Good cheese, not the Laughing Cow or any of that type. It was like, again, great value Garden Ranch or whatever stuff was like 79 cents a fucking tub. We'd have 1 or 2 of those. So I mean, it wasn't like.
Well, so for those of us who have kids, that's, and no, I'm not like saying that this has everything to do with what I'm getting at, but for those of us who have kids, you strive to do better than your upbringing. That's the whole point of being a parent a lot of the times. Well, and making them decent, human beings and productive in society.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of being a parent. But at the same time, you don't want your kids to experience the same hardships that you did growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time as a parent, you want better. You want better for your kids than what you had. Which is why, and going back to what I said earlier, yeah, we bought snacks and stuff like that for lunches. And if for whatever reason they ran out because all of us decided to dip into the fucking snack size bags of chips because we wanted just a snack, then you make that extra run to the store to make sure that there's still stuff for lunches. Because on the flip, heaven forbid our kids go without. But that's the whole point of being a parent, though. You want to do better. You want to give them better opportunities. You want to be able to provide for them more than what it was for you growing up. Not that you're disappointed, not that, oh, well, woe is me, my fucking childhood sucked because we didn't have any money for this. It's not what I'm getting at. But when you grow up with mediocre beginnings, you still have more of an appreciation for what you can provide for yourself and for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
There's just that much more appreciation with it. And that's where, like, the whole being thankful to a degree of, well, it's nice that we have that ability. Now, would we have changed how we were raised or grew up, or changed some of those mediocre? But no, because it still taught us to appreciate what we have and the ability in order to just basically do what you need to do or want to do, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
If your kid, for whatever reason, wants freaking Bluebell ice cream, or your wife, or you, for that matter, wants Bluebell ice cream and you're craving it, it's nice to be able to fucking go to the store and say, you know what? Which flavor do I want? And better yet, maybe I'll get 2 gallons of ice cream this time.
Unless you don't have a clue what that is, and then but like a Ben and Jerry's, whatever your preferred
brand is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, prime example. I was craving ice cream. 2 days in a row, I was fucking craving ice cream. Ask the kiddo, hey, I want ice cream. You want any? Yes. Okay. Which one of the 4 options do you want? Because they stay in a certain realm, which a lot of people do when you're talking ice cream. Well, I want this. Well, what if they don't have that? Which one would you prefer? Because you want to make sure that whatever, like, if you can't get number 1, you at least want to be able to get number 2.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have number 1, they got number 2. That sounds really weird because, but anyways, I got what I wanted and all was well. Well, the next night I'm like, kiddo, I want ice cream again. I kind of got one of those looks. Like, do you want any? No, I'm good. I still have some left over. I'm like, okay. So I asked the wife. First night, wife wasn't here. She was out doing stuff. So, like, I didn't have to worry about getting the wife anything. I want ice cream. What do you want? She's like, you know what flavors I like. I was like, babe, don't go fucking down that road. I was like, it's always like, sometimes you get a burr in your ass and you'll go Ben and Jerry's, or you'll go, Haagen-Dazs. Like, don't fucking do that. Do not put me in the position to go get you ice cream and come back and be like, well, I really didn't want that one. No.
Don't set me up to fail. Just give me 2-3 types that you're jonesing for, and
so I was like, I know the number 1 is Rocky Road, and I'm referring to Bluebell. I don't know if Bluebell distributes up north, but like, it's a staple down here.
I was gonna say I've never heard of it.
Okay, so then it must be a southern thing. But I was like, Rocky Road's always been your favorite. I was like, normal, because like, I run to the Walgreens. I'm not going to Walmart, Kroger, and stuff to get a pint of ice cream. Like, that's stupid. I ain't going that route, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, Rocky Road is number 1. I was like, if they don't have it, which normally they don't, which one would you prefer? Well, the other. I was like, babe, don't put me in this position. I was like, your others are mint chocolate chip and cookies and cream. Those are your other top ones when it comes to Bluebell. I was like, so if they don't have Rocky Road, which one do you want? She's like, mint chocolate chip. I was like, okay. Easy enough, because last time I went, they didn't have any of the other brands. No Haagen Dazs, no Ben and Jerry's, no nothing. It's like, what the hell is going on? All they had was Bluebell. And I had been wanting to try. I've been craving peppermint ice cream. Don't ask why. I have no fucking clue. Peppermint ice cream is like from my youth, and it was always from Brahms. Now I could have driven my ass to Brahms and got me a half gallon of peppermint ice cream because theirs is really good. But Bluebell makes a peppermint and a peppermint bark flavored ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
and they're both seasonal.
Yep.
And so they didn't have regular peppermint because, okay, that's not a big deal. Even though I want to have it again because it's been a long time so I can remember if I also liked it. So I ended up getting peppermint bark and Rocky Road for the wife. So like the wife got her main choice. So all was well with the world. Happy wife, happy life. Peppermint bark, not so good. Not so good. Peppermint ice cream has some dark chocolate uh, pieces in it. I'm not a huge dark chocolate fan, but that wasn't the issue. Their peppermint pieces were like bigger slices of peppermint, and they were dulled in flavor. Like when you think peppermint, you want peppermint. You want the flavor of peppermint. I was quite disappointed. So now we'll have to see if my wife, when she goes to the store over the next few months, can find some peppermint ice cream so I can see it, try it, see if I still like it, because I don't remember if I've ever eaten the Bluebell version. If not, I just know because Brahms always carries it. I'm gonna fucking drive my ass to Brahms and get my fucking ass some peppermint ice cream because I've been craving it bad.
I think I've got 3. One is a, like you just said, the Brahm or whatever the hell that is. It's an all year. It's our Prairie Farms peppermint.
Brahms, yeah, Brahms is a restaurant. It's a dairy slash restaurant.
And then
So growing up, that's where we got our milk and our bread and that type of stuff. Like
okay.
that's we didn't go, even though we could get it from the grocery store. It's just Brahms was fucking better because it was Brahms dairy. But anyways,
we got the
you were
Prairie
saying
Farm, and that's a year round. We used to have the Spumoni, which is like a Neapolitan, but like an Italian, not like a sherbet or anything or Italian ice, but it's a
so like
pistachio, cherry.
gelato type stuff.
No, but it's a uh, ice cream, but it's like the Italian Neapolitan. Like the 3 flavors that were in there. I know it's pistachio, like a cherry nut, and something else.
Yeah, I
And
couldn't do pistachio ice cream.
it's usually around like the holiday that it would come out way back when Prairie Farms had it as a staple flavor, and then they got rid of it. And then Blue Bunny, there's the peppermint, but that's a seasonal. And then Tillamook, their seasonal is peppermint bark, I think. So I've got that. But I mean, yeah, but that's something I didn't like mint. I mean, gum, if you had like a double mint or what the blue one that came out, I think when we were all about 10, 12 years old, that one I loved. But when it was just like the regular mint, it just reminded me too much of like grandma's house, like the candy there when it wasn't the Brock's, the Royals or whatever, something good. It was like the mints in there, like the after dinner mints. I'm like, that's not candy. That's that's not what that is. But yeah, ice cream, it varies. We've got Cedar Crest, which is made in Wisconsin, and it's a blueberry waffle cone, and it's so good. I love that. There's black cherry. I love black cherry ice cream, Kool-Aid, any of that flavor. It's great. Vanilla, if I want to have something maybe on hand for a float to make a root beer float at some point in time, and I can just grab like a couple 20 ounces of A&W from the store, make that. But the one that I always go to, it seems, is the Ben and Jerry's Cherry Garcia. That's the one that I always I can crave. I mean, it's like I need to have that always on hand because I will start eating the pint and it'll be gone before I know it. I'm like, oh.
Well, I like my wife and the kiddo will spread theirs out over like 2 sits. Me, I get a pint, it's gone.
And
Like
I
my
tried,
whole objective when I want ice cream, I'm eating the whole damn pint. Like I'm craving ice cream, it's all gone.
and I try to. I'm like, realistically, this isn't going to last more than what I'm eating right now. It's gone. But I'm like, just let's see if we can make it go a little further. No, you're just like you start getting to the bottom. It's like, well, fuck it. I'm not putting it in there to to get the freeze burn on it and the ice crystals and shit. Like, fuck it. Let's just eat it and be done.
So the question is though, vanilla bean, or French vanilla? Or all the above?
It's usually vanilla. I just go straight vanilla.
Straight vanilla.
Then
It's and that's like French vanilla is not bad. Like I like French vanilla for a change, but typically vanilla, like just straight vanilla. Like my grandfather loved vanilla bean.
mm,
Not sure why. So Vinny, what do you think about ice cream? Because we're just gonna like continue to piss Eric off where he wants ice cream more.
Vanilla
No,
bean, and vanilla. All of them are good.
no, vanilla bean and French vanilla they are not one and the same.
No, but they're all good. Black cherry is good.
If you like cherry,
I like strawberry. I like a good strawberry milkshake.
yep, that's where it's trouble. 'Cause I'm like, I can.
Chocolate milkshake.
Nope, never.
my favorite ice
Strawberry
cream
or
is
chocolate?
my favorite ice cream is pecan pralines and cream.
Oh, yeah. I will not argue with you there. That is dope. A good
That's good
stick.
shit.
Where's Paul? Paul? Are you
Paul's
here?
not in. Paul has not showed up yet.
Nothing beats a good stick.
What,
That's
a
gotta
chocolate
be
stick?
Shorzy.
No, not a chocolate stick. The from Shorzy. So my Letterkenny shirt for tonight.
Yeah, but we have no
Um,
Paul and we have no Jeff.
Yeah. So it's what do you call those? They're like the cones and they have the hard chocolate shell on them with the things. I just call them
Drumsticks.
sticks.
Yep,
Drumsticks. Thank you. I just call them sticks. They make them in all kinds of different stuff now. There's the regular ones, which I love with the caramel in some of them. Some have the hot
Yeah, those
fudge,
are good.
but they make Kit Kat ones and they're freaking good. And then a good frozen Snickers bar.
Those are
And
good.
then I just like going to Dairy Queen and getting a chocolate vanilla twist.
If you
Simple.
you've got Blue Bunny over that way, don't you?
They got Blue Bunny.
There's a soft serve Blue Bunny if you want to torture yourself, get it. If you don't get it. It is so good and so reminiscent of Dairy Queen type soft serve. Or like if you had like an old country buffet or something like that where you had the machine where you get the little bowl
Yep.
and so good. It is insane. And again, that's the scrounge, like the 48 ouncer thing or whatever. That thing will be gone within a sitting. Yep, the chocolate on the bottom of those cones. Blue Bunny's got those too, like the chocolate covered cone, and there's caramel, like the vein down the middle, and then the chocolate at the bottom. Those are good. The cherry dilly bar, start putting them in
Those
front
are
of
my
me.
grandpaps.
I would.
My grandpa used to get a whole box. Just sit
See,
there.
I can't do butterscotch ice cream, but I can do like vanilla ice cream with like butterscotch
topping. See, those aren't bad either. It's a the rare occasion for the butterscotch dilly bar. I mean, that's got to be something where all the other flavors are gone. Chocolate, I can do without the chocolate one because I like the regular Kemp's, just like an ice cream bar, like a Kemp's one. There's some that have that English coffee embedded in there, and those are stupid good too. But yeah,
see, all shit we're thankful for. Ice cream.
I wish when we were in Chicago, we would have had a chance to go to Oberweis. I had a strawberry milkshake there, and I had a chocolate milkshake there when I used to travel for work. Those were the best two milkshakes I ever consumed in my entire life.
But
They
you
were
didn't.
there.
You didn't have one at Portillo's though.
No, I did not. So
Who
I could
was
go to
it?
Portillo's and get
Yes,
one.
you could. You could, but what was
Bob.
it? Like the chocolate cake?
Ed.
Chocolate cake
Was it Ed or Bob?
milkshake or whatever?
I know Bob had a milkshake.
That was that's when we went to the other Italian beef place.
Yeah.
Bona Beef.
Oh, Bona Beef.
Yep. Because they had the ice cream shop like right next door to it or whatever it was.
That's when he got it.
Yes.
No, the ice cream place was actually inside Bona Beef. It's like you had Bona Beef and then there was like the ice cream like thing right there. Yep. So many things that we're thankful for.
I wonder if that was Oberweis inside there. I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't think it was.
No, I don't think it was either. I don't know why I was thinking,
But then again, I mean, I guess it could have been, but like I feel like one of us would have remembered that being somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a place by us now. They're open year round called Leeson's. It's good. They have their homemade waffle cones. They're legit.
We used to have. I haven't seen one in forever, but we had, and I don't know if it's spread out elsewhere, but Marble Slab. It's called Marble Slab Creamery. And they made their own waffle cones. All their ice cream was made actually in store. So everything was fresh made and handmade at the store that day. And their thing is they had a big old slab of marble. And not that it really made a fucking difference, but that was their thing. Because you could get like add-ins or mix-ins, that type of stuff. But when you ordered whatever you did, they put the ice cream on the piece of marble, and they like kneaded the ice cream.
Yeah, like Cold Stone.
It's same concept.
Yeah, that's what we have a ton of them. Cold Stones around here. They're usually next to Tim Hortons.
There's one in Duluth that's sort of near a Crumble and then a Taco Bell. So I mean, you got everything within a short walk.
That's a quick visit to the bathroom when you intermix Taco Bell in that mix.
Well, that's when I get my Baja Blast, so I gotta. Might as
You
well
and
have
Tyler,
something.
sports guy.
Hey, that's
Is
good.
His Instagram post of him buying like 16 cases of Baja Blast when it comes out in the summer.
Hey man, what things that we are thankful for?
Yes, Bobby, I do.
And to follow up on a question,
Carval.
so I don't know if you saw this one or not.
Yes, I saw you got the rookie card, and then I forget what the other one is. Now I got to go back and look.
Well, I know
I
one
remember
was
you got
OPG.
the OPG, and then there you are. Oh, and then there's the bobblehead. That one. It doesn't look real. It looks like they superimposed his head on the card. Look at that. That's just weird. It's one of the weirdest cards for him. It's like, is that like Bob Airy and they photoshopped Lemieux's head sideways? It's just a weird looking card.
Photoshopped into a tree.
Yeah, photoshopped into a tree.
Yeah, Culver's. That they've got their concrete mixers, which play off the Blizzard, I believe. Something similar. Of course, Snoop talking in National and like how excited he was to have like the Butterburger, and I'm like, what was it, like Culver's? Yeah. They're good. They are good. And especially if you haven't had one, it's something that's like up your alley. But I think a lot of us, if we get too used to like the regionalized food, like you sort of become like desensitized. Oh yeah, whatever. We're Culver's, yeah, great.
I have to get the box bottom too. I got the sticker I actually got the sticker the last time I was in for Thanksgiving in Pennsylvania. It went for stupid cheap. It was like a PSA 6 for $60 because no one's occupied with eBay on for the next 3 or 4 days. You might have a chance of getting something decent. And Culver's is like a natural laxative. Every time I eat it, it's like
that's Taco Bell.
Well, that too. I mean, they're McDonald's, their burgers are get like a double cheeseburger or whatever. Man, that is a quick trip to the grocery store to get fucking ass wiped because that stuff comes out like a fucking lead sinker.
And I don't know why it doesn't bother me. Same with the White Castle curse. Everybody, like when I first ate White Castle, I think it was at 10 o'clock at night. So it was just like, it destroyed me. It was just bad. My better half's over there laughing. Then I had it the second time. And then after that, maybe one more time, I made mess with my stomach. After that, I was good.
That's because I got the pickle the mustard and ketchup off it.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm not dying. So they're good. Their crinkle cut fries are amazing.
So
They
are
have chicken
Brahms.
rings.
See, they've got those in the store now because I've got them in the freezer department, and I tried the spicy, and they were one of the biggest disappointments in my life.
That sucks.
I was so excited. I'm like, oh, chicken rings, spicy, please. And after I ate them, I said, no, thank you.
Yep. They're not good. Do you guys have savory sliders? Have that made to savvy sliders?
No.
They're freaking good. Real good. Their chicken slider. They have a chicken, a cod, and a Angus beef. I got like the trifecta one day. I got one of each. And Meredith got the same. They're legit. Their fries are good. Yep. I'll never be like that weird dude. What's his name? Beardo Weirdo or something on Instagram. I'll never be a skinny guy. Yeah. So, and I'm also thankful for them because their drinks are delish. I tried the lime green one lately. It's delicious. Then I had the blue raspberry. It is quite good. What did I get last time? Grape. Grape is delectable. And then I got my go-tos, the standard strawberry, which is ridiculously good.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to take a trip down to Greenville Avenue and go try a Savvy Sliders.
Oh, so you do have one?
Yep.
They're good.
It's damn near downtown, but not that we're ever.
I'll have one
near
in Duluth
downtown.
in 6 months.
When you go to Dallas Card Show, you can go there.
Wrong direction. Dallas Card Show is east of me. Downtown Dallas is south of me. Wrong direction.
You can make it a day trip.
Mojo would maybe he'll take you for some Raising Canes, and then you can go for.
Don't need any Raising
maybe
Canes because I'm not a huge fan. So, like,
Ooh,
I'm just not a huge fan.
I love the platter. Like the 25 or 35 chicken things, and oh,
Like I said, everybody has different opinions about every place. You know, when we were in the group chat or whatever, Vinny talking about getting a Portillo's, another Portillo's. And I'm like, yeah, we've actually had them here for a while, but they're known to be in Chicago. You got to have one of the originals before you start getting into some of the freaking franchise places because you just don't ever fucking know.
They're very similar. You haven't eaten at several of them now. I think I ate 2 in Chicago and then the one here. Not like that's a large sample size, but I have to have a chicken sandwich. Dave, you said it was good.
oh, the best.
Meredith can get that. And then I'll get something different.
I mean,
I like to get a bone of beef. I like those. Those are pretty freaking good.
Yeah, but
We'll
the
get
sad
one
thing
of
is,
those.
we go to Bona Beef. What do we all get? We all got fucking chicken sandwiches. Like,
I didn't. I got the beef. No, I didn't. What the hell?
no,
did I
you
get?
did not. Chicken sandwich. We all got chicken sandwiches.
I don't
Every
remember
single
getting a
one of
chicken
us.
sandwich.
Every single one of us got a chicken sandwich.
I don't remember eating a freaking chicken sandwich.
You did.
I could have swore I got something different.
I know it wasn't the beef. That I know.
Yeah.
Was there a
I
hot
got the
dog?
meatball hoagie. I got a meatball hoagie.
There you go. But
That's
like
what
I
I got.
said,
I knew I didn't get a chicken sandwich. I'm like, because C got spaghetti.
Yep.
And I was like, I know I didn't have a chicken sandwich because I said I should have got a chicken sandwich. The meatball hoagie's good, but
But
I ate
you did
four
end
of them
up-
in the last 2 days.
you did end up getting a chicken sandwich at some point. You know, big chicken.
Oh yeah, I forgot Shaq's place. We got chicken. Oh, those were freaking good. Shaq's food was expensive but legit.
Yeah, that was. I was pleasantly surprised for a fast food chicken joint.
Oh fuck, that was
They were fucking good.
you
They
paid
were-
for it, but you also got what you paid for, which is very rare.
100%. 100%.
So Uncle John and Aunt Linda were in like towards Ed's for an auction this past weekend. I gotta find it here. Hold on. Wait till you see this. My uncle was getting Dave, you know what that is.
it looks like
Fresh
fried chicken.
walleye. That's
Oh.
walleye and potato cakes. It's some Amish place in Amish country. And he was like, my aunt sent me that. I was like, dang. Because every time I used to go to Minnesota, when I would fly out to come back home, I'd go to Axel's Bonfire Grill that was in the airport. And most of the guys got like the pizzas because they had the wood-fired pizzas, which I had one. I split one with somebody before as an appetizer, and they were good. But their walleye bites out of this freaking universe good. And then there was right by my hotel where I stayed, there was a place that had walleye. You got 2 big pieces of walleye with fries and a baked potato. I carb loaded and I fish loaded. And that walleye is just freaking out of this world good. I go back to go there and I'm like, something doesn't seem right. And then I look at the sign, it became a Mexican restaurant. And then I went to that said Mexican restaurant, and good God Almighty, that was some of the best Mexican food I ever had. I had flautas. They're like almost like fried
Flautas.
taco type. Yeah, whatever. They're delicious. And then talk about brisket. When my aunt and uncle came to visit about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when she had those 2 games, she got her 2 clean sheets in a row to finish the year. We went to, oh, son of a gun, I can't think of the name. I wanted to take Meredith there for her birthday, and we didn't end up going somewhere else. Smoky Bones, it's called. And I got the brisket platter. It's a franchise, but good God, that brisket was, oh, I could just, it was so freaking melt in your mouth like Holy Communion. Holy God, it was good. And you got a nice big portion, and you got your Texas toast. Are we a food podcast or are we a card podcast? I wonder sometimes.
Both. Hey,
Yeah.
we're talking about what we're thankful for here, and we all like food.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with talking about food? We can get to other things that we're thankful for as the show continues to progress. But we all know that the one thing that Dave is really high up on his list for being thankful for is food.
This is true.
I mean, past episodes on this very titled show, we've talked about Thanksgiving dinner staples. What's a must for you? What's something that you don't like? Like we've got to somewhat keep it fresh and different and somewhat entertaining, because if we talk about the same shit all the time on the same titled episode, what
Then you
purpose
don't
does
need
it
to
serve?
watch it. Yeah, you don't need to watch it.
Yeah, what purpose does it serve if we're regurgitating the same shit over and over again? And I would just like to say, and I don't give a shit because I feel like saying it. Maybe I should.
Say it. Do it.
I don't care what anybody says, anybody's opinion. It's great that you have an opinion, but hobby burnout is a fucking thing. It is a thing, and it does happen. It is real. Sorry.
Don't jump too far down that subject.
I'm not going any further, but that's been freaking just chapping my ass for a while. And I'll leave it at that. But I had to say
And it's mostly caused by other jagoffs in this hobby, not the cards themselves.
That's a lot of it.
I like buying cards.
Dave said we can't go down that rabbit hole.
Simmer down.
So I was gonna stop too, but it's like
no other reason than maybe possibly future
show
episode.
Topics. No, and I get it. I know where you're going. I know where you're getting. I know where you're going. I get it. Because it is something that multiple people could have varied opinions. It's a good topic of conversation. So, but I'm sorry, it's one of those in which it's been chapping my ass for a few days, and I had to get it off my chest because now I feel better.
The scorpion has spoken.
So Orlando, is it from scratch? I just have to ask, because I like pumpkin pie, but it the only time I eat it is around Thanksgiving and Christmas, because that's pumpkin pie or pecan pie is a staple when it comes to holiday fixing sort of scenarios. But having a chapped ass is not pleasant. And that's speaking from experience outside of figuratively of what I was referring to earlier. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah, I did. Who cares? So, okay. Nope. I had to ask because I was talking about earlier. I went to my ex-father-in-law's funeral. I know I was telling. Oh, yeah. Well, because Ty brought up something. So, of course, I did mention it. So my ex-father-in-law, his parents were Polish because his father is still alive. His mother is not. But this time of year was my favorite because she also made a pumpkin pie from scratch that was to fucking die for. That is what actually gave me an appreciation for pumpkin pie, but I always compare it to that. And store-bought pumpkin pie is just, it's fucking pumpkin pie. Key lime pie is another good one. Freaking I ate my fair share of key lime pie from Hooters in my 20s. Hey, man, went and worked out, freaking hit the gym, work off a lot of excess energy. We'd freaking load up before we went to the gym. We went to Hooters afterwards. Grilled chicken, That was dinner. No bun. And every once in a while for dessert, had to have a piece of key lime pie. Key lime pie at Hooters is pretty good, man. Of course, then again, it's key lime pie. Not that it can you really fuck up key lime pie? I mean, I guess you can if you're making it from scratch, but pies are good, man. So
Later, Eric.
I know who wears the pants in that house. Much love, Eric. It was good to see you. Seriously. And also,
Yes, it was.
It was good to see you. Have a good one, my friend. And since we won't talk to you before then, have a happy Thanksgiving, because we can say that because for those people up north, we can't say that to anybody yet. So we can at least say it to our fellow U.S. folks.
It's already over for them.
You have no pants? No, that's an even bigger problem, Eric. You may need to rectify that situation. Or better yet, don't let us know you're wearing no pants when you're watching or here on the show. Please and thank you. Just for that, Dave ought to show his toes. Thank you. Oh, Eric, you miss us. You know you do. You know you do. Chocolate mousse pie is good too this time of year.
My mom makes that. It's good.
Anybody here like mincemeat? Sorry, I have to ask.
Again, one of the things that comes out, you see that in the candied fruit or whatever on the end cap for the delicious baking and pie season of the holiday.
Oh, the fruit cakes or whatever.
Yep, that kind of fruit.
Yeah, that's another fucking gag. My grandfather loved fucking fruitcake. I'm going, how in the F can you eat that, man? But to each their own.
I've had worse.
My mom and grandfather loved fried gizzards. My grandfather loved liver and onions. My biological father loved pickled pig's feet. Like, what in the actual fuck, man? But all of everybody, has their little intricacies of their odd likings. I mean, nobody jumped and said that, yeah, hey, smoked oysters. Yeah, that's really good, man. I love those things when I brought that up. So, okay, I get it. Stuke, you're old. No offense. You're older than us. I think there's an age. I think there's an age qualification for somebody who likes liver and onions. No offense. Much love. Much love.
Is Orlando still in here? Yeah. Did you ever eat soufrite?
Say what?
Soufrite and tripe.
Oof.
Bless you.
Tripe. That's like the innards with the intestine.
Yeah.
Well,
so it's basically all the lungs and inner organs.
Yeah, menudo. I mean,
yeah,
it's.
When I was 5 or 6, we were at
Orlando was like, no way.
So my grandfather used to eat all that stuff. We'd cook a pig on a spit. He'd tear off the nose and start chewing on it for the year.
Orlando, isn't Orlando Puerto Rican? Are you? I'm probably speaking off base here, but when I think some of what you were talking about, and even menudo, I mean that's like Mexican thing. He's Cuban. Okay, see that explains it. Since he actually put it out there, oxtail being a Cuban food he hates. He's Cuban. My apologies. My apologies, Orlando, that I misspoke. But I knew Orlando was not Mexican. I was pretty sure. Like, I know menudo is a Mexican dish, and I thought like the second one that you mentioned was also more a Mexican thing.
Not Italian. And when I was 5, my grandfather was eating it, and we were at a church St. Anthony's Day festival, and he's like, "Try this," and it was covered in marinara sauce. And I'm like, "It looks like a sponge." He's just like, "Eat it." I'm like, "Oh, that's not bad." And then he told me what it was, and he goes, "Don't spit it out. Don't spit it out." He goes, "You eat it. If you don't like it, you never eat it again. But don't you spit it out." So I was
How about some Rocky Mountain oysters?
Got to cut those real high.
Oh.
Oh yeah, like it's not a thing for me either. But I almost sent everybody a picture from my ex-wife's house, which was like the after funeral thing. What was on the table? What do we always talk about?
Chicken sandwich, gotta be.
No. Come on. Come on. What's the word? Really? You're having to think that fucking hard?
You're gonna have to tell me. I'm
Both of you guys, I am extremely disappointed.
smorgasbord.
Hey,
Gabagool.
Oh, there was gabagool.
Well, we don't say it in that. We don't say it in that sentence. That's the.
I know, but I looked at my wife and I was like, "Damn, I should send a picture." And she kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Gabagool." And she's like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "The meat that's on the table, prosciutto, whatever you want to fucking." It's the same texture.
No.
It's the same fucking texture.
Same cut, not the same freaking meat.
I'm aware. That's why I said what I said. Mr. Italian. No, I'm not going to simmer down because I know what the fuck I'm like. You're jumping in before I can even freaking spit it out. She's like, "What the fuck is that?" I was like, it's Italian meat. Like, anytime you get a really good Italian sandwich, it's usually got gabagool on it. Like, that's like the whole point of it. She's like, "I've never heard that fucking term." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "But here's the thing. It's the inside joke when it comes to national." It was the phrase that ended up like completely going off in left field when we were in Chicago. And it was the warning sign of, okay, like, get up and move away, hold your nose, whatever. But I didn't send a picture. But I thought it would be kind of funny if I did. And I failed miserably because y'all would have kind of chuckled.
That'd have been good.
So,
but we never called it gabagool growing up. It was always capicola, and it was, or my dad would say, "Get me some hot ham," because people wouldn't know. If you'd go to some place that wasn't like an Italian meat market, they're like, "What do you want? Hot ham?" "Oh, hot ham." Okay. But you got to watch because the home of Isley's is Pittsburgh, and they have like
hot ham.
They have hot ham that's not barbecued minced ham, and it's marron. It's bad.
Yeah, not the
It
same
is just
thing.
bad. No, it's freaking. When Meredith first started coming to Pennsylvania, and then one day we were sitting there, I was like, man, I want a chipped ham sandwich. So I fried myself some
What?
chipped ham. It's like the worst part of ham that you could buy. It's chipped ham, we call it. So I fried it in a skillet.
I've never heard that. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, it's like I think what it is basically is all the freaking ham innards and stuff, and they just toss it in and they process it and they come up with chipped ham because it's a lot of fat. But I grew up eating it because it was cheap. So I fried myself a chipped ham sandwich with a piece of American cheese and on a piece of toast, and I'm eating it, and she's like, "What is that?" So I show her. She took a bite. She's like, "That's god awful." I'm like, she's like, "That? How did you eat that for 30 years?" I'm like, it was a staple in my house. It was cheap. I used to go in college. You could get it for $1.59 a pound. I'd buy 2 pounds of it, and I'd eat. Those were my sandwiches. And I'd put it on a piece of toast with a piece of Velveeta cheese.
Well, that's what that. Like that's why we always talk about fucking ramen. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it was back then, but I mean, it's what now, like 37 cents a pack or whatever.
It used to be like 8 for 10 or 8 for $1 or 10 for $1 if you got the cheap one. The store brand or the not the Maruchan or whatever it is.
That's the only way to go though.
Oh yeah, this is true.
Yeah, I think there was a few times that my mom ended up getting the off brand, and it was horrible.
I forgot to bid,
You
but they're coming down. Yeah, probably. But
I was trying
tonight.
I was trying to put that somewhat in a positive light, just so you could feel better at the fact that you forgot to bid.
Hey, I got a stack of stuff that I didn't think I was going to win sitting here. That I'm still perplexed how I friggin' won, but I did. So that's nice.
That's only like almost 20 years. Because that's rookie, isn't it? That was probably a pleasant surprise to stumble across, Dave.
And that was one of the guys from the old not Freedom Cardboard, like Beckett, and then when we split off from Beckett, like the football guy started up a site. He's been on there, and he works at, I don't know if it's a Kroger down in like Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So out of nowhere, I haven't talked or texted him in probably 2 or 3 at least years. And then one day at work, it's like about 1, I'm getting ready to go. I look at the phone and I see that, and I'm like, what's going on here? Is he okay, or did something happen? Because him and the other guy was like really close with, and again, still haven't talked to him in like a good while. They live in the same town, so they're friends in person. They could see each other and then text each other or whatever. And I'm thinking, okay, something's wrong with him. Something happened with him, and it's this card. And I'm like, okay. Thankfully, it was payday. Go down and put the check in the bank or whatever, and then hit the bin on that as soon as I could. I'm like, I think it was like $80. I'm like, yep, every day.
Yeah, for something that, like I said, is almost 20 years old. I mean, it's damn near close.
Because I think that's the second one I've got of the plates.
Which, like, the fact of that coming out of the woodwork after all this time, that in itself is
Yeah, I was.
Quite amazing.
Yeah,
Was that on E?
Yep.
Okay. I think I saw that and didn't realize it was a rookie. Did I? I could have swore I sent that to you. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. There's a lot
Because
of
I know
links.
I send you Lindros when I see something that's out of the ordinary. It's been out of the ordinary a lot lately. Stuff, shit, snurf that you don't usually
Really?
see. Yeah.
Would you like to try that again?
Stuff and things. That's cool. Is that like Minnesota born? He's on a map. That's
What
cool.
they call it, the interstate or the international, I think, for the international guys. But that another one that I don't need. You already have the plate. Yeah, I don't need to have like the parallel plate.
Sure you do.
I do, but I don't
Because
want.
you're the completionist.
And this was
The five.
the red, which you can't really tell, but
It
another
always
one.
looks pink.
I know. But thankfully, I don't think that year they had the pink. But yeah, other than that, it's been. Oof. I told Vinny, I'm like, I haven't. There's been very little that's caught my eye. And then as soon as I say that, somebody had I don't know how many Lindros cards pop up, and one of them's an absolute fucking
Monster.
huge card. I'm like, ah.
So
So
people are also trying to get some fundage though, potentially for the holidays too.
yeah, that's been. I mean, there's a couple other cards, but mostly it's been stuff where I think that's about it. I mean,
I bought one card, and it's not for me. And I'll spill the beans when we're in the after show, because Joe already knows and Vinny already knows, but it's one of those in which it'll be better when you see it in person. So I
So
don't
it's like
have it in my possession yet, but still.
So it's like a flower blooming. It's better when you see it in person.
No, it's not. It's not to that extent. No. No. Nice try though, Dave. But I will say, we are coming up on an hour 45. This is usually one of our shorter shows. Do we actually want to truly ask the question? Because we were talking a lot about food, which we're all thankful for. And of course, Eric probably left and went and got himself some ice cream.
Or chocolate stick, whatever.
Or
Whatever
a chocolate stick. Hopefully ice cream, because then like we did what we needed to, right? Should we go around and actually talk about and briefly touch on what we're thankful for outside of food before we wrap up? Because that's usually what we do anyways.
Well, what is that?
Hell, it's an Ed sighting too. Well, shit. First time we've seen Eric in forever.
And then there's Paul.
We get well, Paul jumped in a little bit earlier. Then we have a crypto grifter sighting.
Bob Lewis shows up. Well, it'll be a
no.
for the ages.
It would. Paul, the said card will not be shown on video. So I still need to make a said pickup video, even though everybody's seen everything. But I need to do it, just to stay true to form. My personal stack has not increased. But like I said, everybody's seen everything. At least I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've shown this to the guys, but have I shown this to everybody yet? I know Vinny and Dave have seen this, but so this is out of Exquisite Collection. This is it's 4 cards. I have it taped together, but it's 4 cards, and it's a sketch card with the auto, and then it's also signed by the artist on the back of every card, but it's hand numbered to 3. So like I said, I know Dave and Vinny have seen this one. It's been sitting here, but this is one of those that came out in Exquisite that intrigued me, and that was one in which it was a buy it now best offer. I didn't even freaking haggle with the offer. I'm like, I've never seen this card. I want it. So outside of that, like I said, everybody's seen everything. And that's probably my biggest purchase over the last 6 months. Outside of my quad auto that I showed, that was my consolation for missing out on the shield. And I know I showed that one. So Dave, my question again. Should we go around?
Yeah, sure.
We'll make Vinny go first, though.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna go first this time.
Vinny.
Hi.
So you have the soapbox extend.
Well, thank you.
We were talking food, kind of jokingly about being thankful for, but now's the opportunity to actually.
Yeah, we we have our standard issue stuff, our family, all the IRP family of people. But if we want to go into specifics of the year, I'm glad I got to see my dog for the extra time. There's a couple extra days before he passed away. I think that was something I was thankful for this year, because every time I get on this show, I think about him because he usually was right here with me. So that's a little bit of a sadder, more lamenting thank you, but that I appreciated a lot. I appreciated going to the national with everybody. That was a lifetime experience that you won't forget. Thankful for the Michigan Stars, the boys, the crew, all of us, that the tight-knit little group that we are, with the staff and the coaches and stuff that work to put that together 12 times a year. It's really become something that takes a lot of my time, but it's worth it. You know, like I always said, we're going to have one heck of a bash when C turns. She'll probably, no, will she be 18? She might be 19 when she graduates. I forget. Because of her birthday. But it's going to be a heck of a shindig. There's going to be like 80 soccer players and like 6 kids from school. And then all you guys. It'll be like the IRP, a bunch of soccer players, and like 6 kids from school. It's going to be a shindig. Like, she has me keep a list of people. And thankful all them. My buddy Chris, who the GM, him and I are good friend, real good friend now. this hobby's brought a lot of people together over cardboard, but I mean, we could say it every week and we'll say it again. And thank you for all the jagoffs that ruin this hobby because it just strengthens strengthens the bond between us collectors that are actually collectors and don't give a crap what you collect or what you buy. That doesn't matter. That's a cool card. How's your kids? But thanks for the jagoffs because basically all they do is strengthen the relationship that we have with each other and frankly don't care what you do. Go buy 600 Desmond Ritter cards and start a card shop in Atlanta for all I care. That's great. Have at it. There's more to this hobby than money. Money's nice though. But it's the people. I'd have gave up on this a long time ago because it sort of gets boring chasing after cardboard. If you don't have anybody to share it with. It's another Shorzy reference. So, yeah. My kids, my wife, my family, you guys, with your family, all the people that are here every week, you are family. Thankful to be employed, thankful to make money, to enjoy this hobby, that kind of standard stuff.
Nicely put.
Yeah. I don't know what else, but thankful for actually winning some cool cards this year because I got a lot of. I sat there and was talking to Joe the other day, another byproduct of the hobby, and I said I really sat down and was thinking about it. I was like, "Holy crap! Did I get some bangers this year?" And it was a good hobby year, despite all the crap that's going around. It's Laurence Leboeuf. Sure. Paul get that. But
Paul, you.
Yep. Thank you for Letterkenny, Shorzy, to drive my wife insane. So, because there's nothing quite like her waking up at 4:00 in the morning and her going, "Are you freaking serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can't sleep. I have the TV remote. That's what's going on the TV." And then I usually fall asleep.
Of course, those aren't her exact words.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're a little less PC than that.
Just say if those are exactly but that's the talk.
Yeah.
I digress.
All good. You good on your soapbox?
Soapbox retract.
No,
Gobble.
again.
Dave and I are in sync again, like always.
Per the usual.
So do you want me to go next, Dave?
Yep.
Oh, so we're going to save the worst for last. Okay.
This is correct. As it should be.
Not that I feel like I need to go on solo, but I'll do my best to not fully repeat or agree with things that Vinny said, but it's kind of hard not to because, this time of year, especially, attending or going and attending a funeral, 2 days before Thanksgiving for somebody who was instrumental in, kind of molding me into the individual that I am. Although ex family it does make you appreciate and make you even more thankful for your family, for those that you still have with you. Uh, Blood relatives, extended family, as the youngins say, brothers from another mother. Uh, it is real. Uh, but thankful for my family. Those that I still, it's more my immediate family. My wife and my kids. That's who I live my life for. Uh, as Vinny said, I'm thankful I'm still employed, uh, which gives me the opportunity to provide for my family, also to continue to enjoy this hobby from time to time, even though the budget is not what it once was years ago. But I can still enjoy the hobby, not always having to buy things, but enjoying some of the things that I've acquired over a long term of collecting, and really treasuring and appreciate those cards that have come from people that mean a lot. uh, Dave, I know you don't like to hear stuff like this, but and
Correct.
I've said this in the past. I am thankful for Dave for convincing me to start this journey as it pertains to the IRP. Um, it does bring back a lot of fond memories of blog days, enjoying and having conversations, and it not always being about cards. But, you know, for what it's worth, Dave, I, and I mean it, I am thankful for you. I won't say getting me out of my comfort zone, but, you know, having conversations and convincing me to do this on a weekly basis. I am thankful that it has lasted this long. I hope it continues to last, because I do look forward to these shows on a weekly basis. And yes, we do need breaks from time to time. Uh, I know a lot of the IRP folks aren't a fan of them from time to time, but sometimes we have to. Uh, not that not It has nothing to do with not having something to talk about. It's just life situations. Uh, the IRP has gone from two to three. This is now a three-headed monster. From a show perspective and a host slash co-host perspective, but the IRP has expanded into a great collective and group of people, extended family, as Vinny said. I will also say I am thankful for the same opportunity of being able to go to Chicago, finally meeting so many great people, uh, getting to interact with them face to face. Some of the enjoyment of hearing them talk, people talking about meeting the IRP crew. It's not Dave, or it's not Bronco 79 and Amish Dave and Uncle Vinny. It's meeting the IRP and then saying us as individuals. Uh, that's very special to me, and I'm thankful for that. Uh, Hoping that we can continue, hoping that we get a chance to go up north next year, have a repeat in Chicago in 25. Uh, but in all honesty, I am truly thankful for the show giving me an opportunity to even expand my reach and get additional or get closer with additional individuals. You know, like never did I ever think that this show would increase the number of people that I consider friends and or extended family. So outside of that, I think I kind of covered it. I went in a little bit more sentimental, but that's what happens when you go to a funeral. Makes you think a little different. Makes you look at things in a different perspective. But yeah, that's what I got. Vinny, you know I love you. I didn't want to call you out specifically, but you know I love you. You know I'm thankful for our friendship. But if it wasn't for Dave, we wouldn't have our friendship. So I thought it was more important to say I'm thankful for Dave.
Dave is like the matchmaker, make me a match.
Catch me a catch, find me a. Sorry,
What?
Whatever.
Mrs. Doubtfire, man, come on.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, it's all you, buddy. You can, and we'll even do this. Oh yeah, no, you're going big too. You get the same treatment as the rest of us.
You made me big.
Did I now?
No, same sentiment. You did sentimental for me, so that can, like, I don't have to do that, but thankful for you guys. You deal with somebody who probably has more mental issues that are out there. Especially when it comes to this hobby, there are days when I could just go out to a ranch and dump all my cards, every last one, and just burn them because I'm done with dealing with stupidity on every level. But then you're the positive voices in the hobby, and again, that's odd for anyone to say for you two fuckheads.
Thank you.
That I won't say talk me off the cliff, but my emotions, as you may know, as anyone that has indulged themselves in watching an episode of the IRP, knows it can vary. It can go from minimal to a volcano exploding in a matter of moments. And then thankful for, again, I'll single people out. Trista, doubt she's watching now, but it's been a rough year. But again, the thing I value about her and people in general that I'm close to is communication. If we don't communicate with each other, and this means like anyone, work, relationships, family, friends, making a transaction, whatever it is, you're not going to succeed in whatever that may be. If you don't communicate, if you can't put the raw emotions aside, and it's tough, and those moments are tough, but it builds a better relationship, it builds a better foundation, it builds a better you, it builds a better us, whoever that may be in that particular situation. So thankful for her for sticking with me and accepting me with the magnitude of flaws that I present to her and others quite often. My kid, thankful that she's appreciative of the stuff that goes on, the stuff the opportunities she's afforded, and the things she gets. There's times, again, every kid's a little dipshit that you want to fucking just be like, shut the fuck up and relax. But she most of the time is pretty level-headed, pretty even keel. Again, a lot like me. You don't want the attention. You don't want to sit there and. She even said it the other day. She's like, I don't like compliments. I do what I need to do, and then I don't need to be told I'm doing a good job. And I said, you are unfortunately my child, because that is exactly how I am. At my job, I don't need to be told I'm doing a good job. That's what you're supposed to be doing, getting paid to do a good job. So I'm thankful for her and how she's becoming young woman and all that other razzmatazz. So thankfully no boy shit has entered that realm yet.
Thank God.
And I'm hoping that she can, whenever that time comes or whatever the path may be, whoever she finds is somebody that's not a fucking twat waffle. I'll be thankful then too. Thankful for everything in Chicago. That was a blast. Again, the only thing, and we've said it before, was going to, like, where Joe went, the carpeted area. I wish we would have gotten a little more time to do that, but again, now that we've sort of got the, I don't want to say pleasantries, but now that everybody has sort of met everyone. And again, there's going to be like Paul, we need to meet him, Carlos, Eric, Bobby, Jeff, just everybody that we haven't met. We'll certainly take that time, but next time in 25 for National, it's going to be, I'm not going to say more card heavy, card centric, but I'm going to be thankful that we get a little more time to sort of peruse. But I'm super thankful for the relationships that we forged there. And again, I wish that some of the folks that stop by on a Tuesday night watch us. Again, you watch in the archive, it's the same thing. If you see this in the archive, just comment below. But thankful for the response for most of it. Thankful we didn't have to use the bail money in Chicago. There's certainly several times that it could have been used. Thankful the ambulance is pulling up at the front of the Rosemont were not for us. All 7 or 8 of them. I'd say thankful for my job, but my boss is a fucking idiot, so I'm thankful the checks haven't bounced yet, so I don't have to find a new job. What else? Card-wise, unlike I'm trying to think if I got any. I'm sure I got massive cards this year. I'm thankful for them, but that one in May still stings. The Superfractor of JJ that went for whatever the hell it was, 250, 225. That's I'm not thankful for somebody being an idiot and bidding that up, but thankful I can afford cards. that if I have to make a run at something that I really care about or at that moment have the passion to make the run at, I can do so. Thankful, like I said, all the relationships we have in the hobby. Neil and Ryan, RBI Crew 7. Again, they're not as huge a presence online as you see some of these other goofballs, but they're still true to their roots, and that's something that I'm glad and thankful that we've been able to continue to cultivate and grow in that relationship that was started, Christ, what, 13 and a half years ago.
About that.
For Jeff, for Jeff for pretty much any time I'll text him or message him and, hey, I got this idea, or if he's got an idea, I'll say, whenever you want, we can do whatever you want. It doesn't always have to be something dead set specific on current hobby doings or anything. It can always be, you just want to get on and tell stories. We will gladly afford you that opportunity. So I'd say the last thing, besides adding thankful for chicken sandwiches, just thankful for being genuine, real people. You see a lot of that bullshit out there. People want the notoriety, the fame. That you can tell when people are doing so much in their power to prop themselves up, to get whatever it is out of it that they want. Money, fame, credibility, whatever the case may be. That YouTube Hall of Fame plaque. I'm just thankful we're real enough that we're not going to sit and sugarcoat shit. We're not going to sit there and sell you a line of garbage. We're not going to sell you memberships or any other bullshit. You want to watch us, you know it's an open forum. You know, I don't like using the whatever the other Tuesday night show was. That was stupid. But it's all inclusive. You want to come in and you always know the two subjects that are off limits. But other than that, we're not going to sit there and try to direct you away from saying something. Again, unless it's something that's just overtly offensive. But we're just thankful for bringing that to you. And if it doesn't mean, or if that does mean we don't grow to 50,000, 100,000, a million subscribers or whatever, that's fine. Again, it's not all toilet flowers, sunshine, and rainbows. It's nice to have that once in a while, but at the same time, if you're always looking through the rose-colored glasses, that becomes a utopian society that doesn't exist. So just thankful for that, and again, thankful for all of you for sticking with us on this journey. Because again, it's a bumpy journey. Half the time you don't know if we're going on Wednesday night, Tuesday night. Christ, I think we even got a couple Thursday nights in there. Yeah, just thankful for the folks that stick with us. And from my own perspective, of course, stick with me because again, like I said, I can be quite distant. So at times. So, but that's just me.
Much love, Dave. Much love. Does that cover it, Dave?
I believe so.
Well said from everybody. For anything that was missed by one or multiple, it was covered by somebody else. So I think you can wrap us up, Dave.
It'll be a very short wrap up. Thank you for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that bullshit if you want. You ever have anything that you want to talk about, either on camera or something that's relevant in our world, if you've watched us enough, subject wise, let us know. Again, never shy away from that. I don't care about like PSA trimming scandals. I know we don't care about that stuff. That who cares? I don't care about the top 20 cards from 1968 top sales. Trust me. I don't care. Trust me. Brian Gray, Leaf, cards numbered to 13. Flowers. I don't, just anything you want within the realm of like something you would like to see us chat and have like a little knowledge with. So with that, Vinny, Steve, Dave, this has been the IRP. Remember, collecting cards, wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.